Hey friends, I'm here again today with another junk journal or creative journal as I like to refer to them. I wanted to share, this is my 2025. I've done May through August. I kind of let the thickness of the journal determine how many months will end up in here. And I always fasten it with some piece of lace or ribbon or something that I have around. Something new that I've added to my journals are these little takeaway little baubles, I guess. I've just had all of these beautiful pieces of lace and ribbon. I found some beads that I strung. I have an old button on here and even a little key that I came across, a vintage key. And right now I just kind of stick it in and at the top and clip it on. I'll move that to the side so it's not clanking around. And I will undo this binder. So this is a little disc system that I have been currently using. And this front page is just like a book page and some washi tape. And I've just used a little laminator just to keep this front page like flexible and easy to work in. And then again, they just pop in and out, so I can adjust it in any way I like. So I just added kind of a little title page and I left it blank. And then I kicked off spring with some vintage buttons, some old calendar pages. This was from an old book. I just added a little piece of vintage lace that I pinned on with an old rusty little pin that I came across. Keeping in theme with springtime, I added a little card that I can journal in, which I did journal inside. It's a Mother's Day card. This is a vintage card which I came across at an antique shop. So I just added that in. And I printed off Remember and Reflect. I have a whole just stuff I wanted to keep track of. These were just something else I had in my stash and I just thought I could keep them to journal on or just for fun to make, because it was just fun to make them. Made a little pocket. I ordered a bunch of these cute little paper clips online, just on Amazon. This was from a bird book, and I don't know, I like the sheen and the texture of the page. This was some old wallpaper that they sell at the dollar store. I just kind of cut it up and added it and used the scissors that have these pretty little edges. And I did some sewing with my sewing machine. And here's just more days of the month places I went, things I did. This is a coloring page. I just added that, and then that was the page that I colored from a really cool coloring book. Got this on Amazon if you're interested in something like this, but it gives you the page and then you color how you want it. So I thought that was fun to work in. And I figured why not add it. I love adding quotes, so there's that. These are from the Happy Planner sticker books. Just more dates and things that I did. I just kind of make the pages myself and add in little journaling prompts. I like to add the month if I'm changing the month, so it's just a piece of fabric with a calendar letters added on there. More sewing, so it's tactile. And then I have old postcards, vintage ones, that from a town I grew up in, so those are fun to just have. And I just sewed this little lace pocket to pop them in. This is from a book, Anything with Birds I Love. My summer bucket list I added and just kind of checked off the places I went for the year. And I was documenting my first time coffee dyeing paper and the process, and I did it one time, and I think that's probably enough. Here's a actual piece of the coffee dyed paper that I did. This little thing is a stamp. Yeah, it was fun, but I don't know if I would do it again. I know some of the other creators love doing it. Here's just a vintage card. Look at all those vintage signatures. Very cool. So I just added that. She was from a magazine. Yeah, so and then I switched months. Found a little feather in the yard. I'm always finding feathers, which I love because I love the birds, like I said. So we moved into June. This was actually from some old binder, and so I just repurposed it. That's kind of fun. And then these are like journaling cards. So you can just get a pretty image that I just printed. This is from an old book. This is something I just literally printed off of Google Images and just kind of stuck them there. Just more journaling using like literally a paper bag. Journaling where we went. Here's more of that wallpaper stuff. Oh, it's so cute. When I started my YouTube channel, just Father's Day, that was stuff we enjoyed in the summertime. One of the days I went off and filmed. I have information on that. And more summer stuff, things I made, numbers I just print and cut off. This is the Wentworth by the Sea, which I did a whole video on. And this came out of a magazine, so that was fun. And more Wentworth stuff. I actually know an artist who made this for me, and also another artist who made these cards for me. So these are kind of special, and I wrote inside like who made them and when I got them, of the Wentworth by the Sea Hotel in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Actually, Newcastle, New Hampshire. And I just did a little page about it and that day and how I got a hot dog and a root beer at the ice house. And I can link some of those videos below if you're interested in seeing that. And just more trips that we did that summer. We went up to Kennebunkport in Maine, and so of course I had to get all of these things. Sometimes I cut them up, sometimes I just stick them in here. I love saving things like the tickets from the little train we took, and we went to Satellite Donuts, and so I bought a sticker. Yep. And there's the train we rode, and they had an old, bus that was cute. They had a whole lot full of old buses, which I just thought were amazing. More date stuff, what I'm reading, I kind of keep track of that. Something fun, I was at Target and I got a summer drink to kick off the season. I love doing that, where I either get my peppermint mocha for the Christmas holiday or the pumpkin spice for like the month of October, something like that. Just looks that I love for the summer. I love this whole capsule wardrobe idea and linen in the summer. And I love the resort wear look for summer. I think it's so fun. June is my wedding month, so I have a card and just journal tags of stuff I can write about. I use some lace, and this is an old vellum. Just listen to that paper. Like, oh, it's great. It says our wedding on it. I thought it was so cool. I have a little vintage card in there. And then I put some pictures of my wedding in there. So, from many years ago. Over 20 years now. And just more journaling stuff about my vision board. Again, that beautiful bird book I had to steal all these images from. And made this little swinging tag. Just with this little brad. And I coffee dyed this little tag as well. And then I put a stamp on it. And These were just, oh, I bought a tree, so I stuck that in there. And then I journaled. And I did a whole fold out page of just this little strawberry. It was like an herbal medicine plants book, so I thought that was cool. It looks like this thing goes on and on and on, and some journaling way down in the bottom. So just stuff I like. I just play around with it and stick it in here. And then I grew up with strawberry shortcake, so since I was doing strawberries, I had to add a little something fun there. More birds, of course, little bird stamp, and just the cutest thing with all the feeders. If you've seen the videos of my yard, you'll see that I have feeders outside. I love anything nature, so that I added this page with the seeds. And sorry about my camera. I'm trying to get the hang of this. I came across this vintage ad of cereal, cornflake cereal. Oh, so cute. I don't know, I just liked it. I love everything vintage as well. And more bird stuff, bird supply. I literally found these like in some old books my parents had. I was hunting for treasures. And then when we took my son to do some college tours, we went to Rhode Island. And so I was writing about we decided since we were down there, we would go visit the mansions that he hadn't seen. So we did a whole trip there, the Newport Mansions in Rhode Island. If you've been there, I have a video on that one as well. But it's very, very cool there. Amazing. So amazing. You could spend days there, I feel like. Yep, here's our little ticket, and then I journaled on the inside of that. And another vintage postcard, which I have too many of right now. I'm trying not to buy them when I see them, even though they're so amazing. I love it. Oh, and I added a journal tag. So some people like to make these. They make these little tags, and then you can journal on the back. I just put a pretty paper on the back of this particular one. This was from an old book. I just had to leave it as is because, I mean, it's so cute. And then into July, we went to the Butterfly Place in Westford, Mass. So yeah, I can't not buy stickers. That's just too hard. Yeah, let's see what else. We call it a date day, but I did video some of these places. And this is my little trip down to Florida. This was an old vintage map that I had, and I went to visit my daughter, so I have a whole bunch of stuff in here. A vintage card, journal area. This is also some paper I just kind of put together, and then I could journal on the inside. Also more stuff to journal in, and pictures of us, and what we did. Mother-daughter time. Oh, and then love pelicans. Yep, favorite Florida bird for sure. And so I just kind of keep that in there. Yeah, I don't know what my favorite New England bird is. I like too many. And this little clip came in that little packet of all those fun paper clips. This was from an architecture book. I love architecture and floor plans. That's what I did in school. I did interior design, and drawing floor plans was one of my favorite parts. And then this is all a bunch of my washi tapes. I have seen some other creators do something similar, and I thought I love that. It looks like a bookshelf, and I drew these in, and then I added all my little washi tapes. I think this is one of my favorite pages, and it was super fun, and I got to use up some of my supplies. And then I just love that, so I left it blank. August, I was thinking about New England in August, and I had this cool picture from an old book. These were from an old calendar, and this was also from a book. So I think about the sea. I live not too far away from the ocean. So it is amazing to go out there and you get to go whale watching. There's so much to do here. That's why I do videos of the area. Just there's so many amazing things. And yeah, another old postcard. This was from a little book, so you can journal on the back, but I don't know, I didn't journal on that one. I couldn't cover this. It was just so cute. Oh, that just looks like, I don't know. It's so pretty. I love it. I just used some coffee dyed fabric. Tried my hand at that as well. Yeah, you know, it was a process. And then I just did a whole bunch of journaling here. So I just kind of stuck it in. It was kind of simple. Sometimes I do simple stuff, and sometimes my pages are ridiculously overloaded. And then we went to Castle in the Clouds in August. So I added a journaling card, and we went to tour that mansion up at Castle in the Clouds. And I've got a little map in there. I've got a whole bunch of stuff in there. Yeah, that's why it's held on by a clip, as you can see. And we went to Wolfboro, and you can watch my video on all that stuff, but that's why I collect it all. I like to either, sometimes you see it stacked in here, and then other times I spread it all out, like our trip to Salem. Here you go. Here's perfect. Like, I collected all this stuff, and oh, my little cat from our day in Salem, Massachusetts. So even though I did a video and collected all this stuff, I still cut out stuff from the pamphlets, the flyers, all the things I got. So this was a flyer, and I kind of just took bits and pieces of it and chopped it up. It's me with the Samantha statue from Bewitched, and just other stuff that I just kind of made. Believe in Magic, Bewitched, and I wrote about some history that we saw at the hotel that we visited there. And then I was checking off some of the areas we went to visit. So just for fun, just added those in, made a little witchy pocket. Just left that blank, surprisingly. And then I was using all these stickers. I just needed to use them up. So I just went to town and just did cozy. All that felt cozy to me, definitely. And I don't know, I guess I was using up more stickers of just images that I love. Kitties, of course. And then this was actually a notebook, because, you know, Bigfoot, I love him. And I just kind of using up stuff. Same here. Lots of stickers from all over the place. And then the end page, which is like practically falling off. That's why it's nice that they snap back in. Yep. Then I just made it. So sometimes I'll add the flowers and make it pretty, and sometimes I like it plain. I don't know. I think that's the fun part of having a creative journal. You do what you're feeling in the moment. You use what you have on hand. And a lot of times I will actually go back and add stuff to pages, because sometimes I just will work on a page for a little while and feel like, I think this is done, but I don't know what else to put on it, or I may get another piece of something that I want to add it later. So anyway, I hope you liked the little peek of my creative journaling, which, like I said, some people call it junk journaling. I do a little bit of memory keeping / junk journaling in it. Yeah, let me know if you like this content. If you stuck with me this long, if you give it a thumbs up, I totally appreciate it. And if you're interested in my videos on Cozy New England and seeing some of the areas that I toured that you saw in this book, I can link those below. Anyway, have a great time, my friends, a great day, and stay inspired. Take care.